Welcome to this week's session with the Putnam County District Library, Guiding Ohio Online Grant. This week we are going to take a look at how to clean up your Google Drive. If you're like me, over a period of time, everything can get kind of messy in terms of what you have and what you see when you're working in your Google Drive. So today we're going to look at just a couple points of how to just get started getting things cleaned up, kind of like a spring cleaning. So if you go to your Google account, when you are in the Drive part of your account, notice when you're at your 9 dots here in the corner, Drive is one of those. That is where you see everything that you have ever created and saved. So when I am in my Drive account, here is what you'll see, and you'll see that everything at this point is alphabetized, is what you'll find. So by it being alphabetized, the folders are always at the top, and then all of my individual files. The first thing to start with is to search for your untitled files that you might have. Remember, when you create anything in Google, it automatically lists it as untitled. So if you never go back and change that, you're going to have a lot of untitled files. So if I go untitled here, and what you're going to find is, notice all of these things that I have listed as untitled. Remember, my icons at the front are what change. This means it's a presentation. This means it's a document. This means it's some type of a spreadsheet. So when I do that and I hit return, all of those are going to pop up. Now, another thing to do that can make it easier is if you change this over to grid view. By changing it to grid view, what you are going to see is a very quick image of what these files are. So it can make it very easy to say, don't need that, it's blank. Notice both of these are blank. So if I simply click on my 3 dots here, I have my different actions, so I can right away move that to the trash. And I can continue doing that along the way, getting rid of all of my untitled information. So that is the first thing. And then the second thing that we're going to look at today, and like I said, this is kind of just getting started. So we're going to look at 2 things today. Number 1, searching, finding all your untitled, getting rid of those. And secondly, we're going to look at how to organize based upon folders. So if I go back to my Drive here, now notice I'm in grid view. I'm going to take it back to my list view just to make things a little bit simpler. And now what you see again is my folders at the top, my files down below. Notice my icons are at the beginning here. This tells me it's a drawing. That's what makes things a little bit different here in terms of the appearance. This tells me it's a movie file. So I am now going to go in, and these are kind of what we would refer to all of these files as, quote, homeless. In other words, they're not living in a folder. So what you should do, could be very beneficial, is have everything labeled as a folder. So I am going to simply go to New and create a new folder. And when I do that, the one thing I do recommend is that you have a folder that is kind of like your junk drawer. So in other words, you don't really know where those files go. So if I go to Create, now I have this, what is referred to as my junk folder. The other thing I want to make note of here is I can go out here. I could star this if this is a special folder that I want to make note of. And in addition, I can go out here and I can find my folder information in terms of my details, how often, or when's the last time it was used. And if I wanted to just click specifically and search specifically for my for my junk file folder, that's where I would do this. The other thing is we can change the colors. If you right click on your folders here. As I'm doing that, I can rename, I can share, I can organize. And by organizing, I can actually change the color of that folder. So it can be helpful because, again, like I said, if I right click on my folder, I can get my folder ability to organize here, and I can change those colors. So it makes it stand out a little bit more, makes it a little bit easier to tell real quick. If you know in your head, you know what, I always use that folder and it is yellow. So those things just help. And again, I can go to, as when I'm organizing, if I go to rename that folder, I can change what I want that folder name to be if I'm not happy with that folder's title any longer. So now that we have some folders created, I just wanted to show you again, if I look at this and I'm like, you know, I'm not really sure what this interactive quiz template, for example, but I'm going to, again, right click on that, and I am going to take this and I'm going to organize it. And when I organize, I am actually moving this folder. So I'm going to take this folder and I'm going to say, you know what, I want to move this to my junk folder because that is where I'm not really sure what I want to do with that, and then that will move that in. So I would do that with all of my different folders here. Simply right click, I'm going to go to organize, and I'm going to go to move. And I'm going to place those into the appropriate folder, whatever that might be. So if I want to take this copy here with my copy of first note I made here, and I want to move and organize this, I'm going to go to move. Notice the junk folder is coming up because that is what's suggested. If I go to starred, if I go to all locations, that's going to where I can go here, and I can go to my drive. Notice I've got my arrow here, and now I can see my different folders. So I could simply say, nope, this one goes to my what is called classroom, for example. So now I have all of these, and as I click on my folders, then what you're going to see is you're going to only see, when I double click on those, what is located into those folders. So again, the two fairly simple steps to at least get started. There's so many more things that you can do in terms of organizing your Google Drive, but today just wanted to look at how you can get rid of all of your untitled, either give them a name or remove them completely, and secondly, how we can organize by folders. And by organizing by folders, we can put everything in a folder, remove and get rid of what is referred to as your homeless files, those files that are down here that are not in any folder itself, as well as color code those folders, and to actually star, and notice how it organizes everything here by alphabetical order. So however we want to organize those folders, another easy thing you can do is if you for sure always want a certain folder at the top, if you put a 1 in front of that, and then a 2 in the next, 3, so forth, it's always going to put, so in other words, just for example here, I'm going to rename this, and I am going to put a 1 here in front of my takeout. I'm going to say, okay, now notice, even though obviously T comes after S, this is always going to be my first folder when I organize. So you can easily choose how you want those folders to appear. Hope everyone has a good week and lots of sunshine.